Hello, my name is Pastor Mike Miller. I'm the pastor for Next Ministries, a new church launching September 15th at the National Teachers Academy at 55 West Cermak Road in Chicago. We put together this brief preview series of what the experience of worship will be like with us when you join us on September 15th. The series is called Lost and Found. I hope you enjoy it. There are times when we face the reality of who we are and the things that we've done. And we get to that place where we start making our way back home. The challenge of that is in our minds and our hearts, we begin practicing. What are we going to say when we get back to that place? What are we going to say to our family that we left? What are we going to say to the people who we disappointed? What are we going to do when we actually come face to face with them? And so in our minds, we began practicing over and over again what we're going to say to those that we've disappointed. But the shocking moment that happens for some of us is when we get to that place, when we get to that moment, it's not what we expected. There are people that are excited to see us come back on the right path. There are people that are excited to see us turn our lives around. They've been waiting for that moment and they've been watching. You know, some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you have children and you see the children go their different ways and they do things that they shouldn't do. And you wait for them to realize that, you know what, you really shouldn't be doing this, but they go and do it anyway. I have a 2-year-old son, and my 2-year-old, I will tell him not to do something. And the moment I tell him not to do it, what does he do? He goes and does it anyway. And I'll tell him again, don't do that. But it's not to the moment that he faces the reality that, you know what I just did was not good. It hurt. I don't want to do that again. That he begins to come back to me crying with tears in his eyes, and he looks for that embrace to let him know that it's going to be all right. When the son finally gets to that place and he comes home, and we said that his father's own arms were open wide to receive him. He was just waiting to have him come back. There was something that he had already practiced. The son was ready to say certain words. He was ready to tell his father, you know, I've sinned against you. I've sinned against the family. I've sinned against God. And I'm so sorry for this. If you just give me a job so I can work for you, so I can just do what you want me to do. Do you want me to sweep the floors? What do you want me to do? I'll do anything. The father shocks him, just totally turns his world around and embraces him and says, it's time to celebrate. Because my son who had lost his way, has now found his way back home. There's an excitement, there's a joy that fills the father's heart. There's a joy that wells up within him because he wants the best for his children. Just like as a parent, you may want the best for your child. Just like when you see the teachers in our community, they want the best for their students. When you see the families around us, they want the best for their families as a whole. We all want the best. And so when he gets to this point, he begins to understand something. He not only faces the reality that he made a mistake, that he insulted his father, he insulted the family, he left all of those people whom he loved and who loved him. They knew that he had some problems. They knew that some things were not right. They knew that he needed to find his own way. It's like the kid who goes off to college. When you go off to college, they decide they're going to do their own thing. They don't need anybody anymore. And then they realize that within that first week that they spent all of their money, that they need food and they need to call home because they need to get some money on their card so that they can begin to eat again. This is what life is like for us sometimes. Sometimes we get to a place where, you know what, we have to run back home. And that running back home leads us to a place where it humbles us, but we also feel and find the embrace of love, the sense of community, the sense that there are others who care about us, others who want the best for us, even when we've done wrong. This past summer, we had a great experience. We took 6 families up to Covenant Harbor in Lake Geneva, just to take the whole family, the mother, fathers, the kids, some single parents, We took him up to Lake Geneva just to get away from the violence of the city, just to have a moment of peace and relaxation. And as we were gathered together and we were sitting around a campfire, it was funny how they began to share with each other, and they said, we came here as strangers, but now we feel like family. That's what community is all about. You see, the son in the story had lost himself, and he had lost what it meant to be a part of community and be a part of family. He had wandered off. He had wandered so far away that it was at the moment that he was at his lowest, where he lost everything, that he realized that I need my family. I need my friends. I don't need to take this journey in life alone. I need others around me that can support me, that can care for me, that will be there for me. Even when I fall and embarrass myself, even when I am at my worst, they will still love me and they will still care for me. You know, for some of us, it's hard. It's hard to get to that place to find home, but when the Father embraces him, he begins to realize that, you know what? There was a love here for me that was greater than anything that I could have imagined. Like we said previously, there's this love of God and his people, his creation, that Jesus uses these parables to tell the story of the relationship with God and you. And so what happens here is we see the Father, and we see the Father's love is there no matter what. The Father's just waiting for that moment, for that realization, that reality check to come, and the young man to come back home and say, you know what, I need to be here with you. And the Father says, I've been waiting. I've been waiting. It's time to celebrate, because the one who was lost has now found their way back home. We want you to find your way back home, because there's a God who loves you. There's a God who cares about you. There's a God who wants to be with you and wants you to be with him. The doors are open in that house. The arms are open in that house, and love is in that house. And as we develop and create what is going to be a great experience for you to be able to know what that love is like at Next Ministries, we want you to know that you are loved always. No matter how far away you go, no matter how dark the places are that you're in, there is hope, there is light that is waiting for you. This son found hope and light when he came back home, when he found what home really was.
I'm running back to you. I see you're standing there for me. Your arms are open wide, and I don't have to cry no more. You're standing there for me, and I am running back to you. Why do I go away when I know I am no good? Do it again. I'm running back to you. I see you're standing there for me. Your arms are open wide, and I don't have to cry no more. You're standing there for me, and I am running back to you. Why do I go away when I know I am no good? I have taken advantage of your love and grace. Forgive me, Lord, and take me home. Take me home. I'm running to you, Jesus. Please take me home. You see, I've been in this wrong way too long, and I can't do right anymore. I'm tired of pain and I don't like fear. But Lord, I want to be more sincere. I never should have left your side.